Alright, so I haven't vlogged in about a month now, so I gotta do that. Especially since this is now July, and that means that I have been making YouTube videos for 4 years. 4 full years now. And YouTube itself has only been around for about 5.5, about 6.5. So, 2005, right? Yeah. So about 6.5. So I've been on most of its time. Anyhow, that's not why I'm tuning in today, though. What's going on today? Well, first on a note of a forum friend, John, just saying that I'm sorry to hear that John lost his dog. His dog passed away. John has had this dog for 17 years. I don't know John personally, I just know him through forums, but he's a graduate student, so he's in his early 20s. I think he's about 24, 25. I think 24. And he's had the dog since he was about 7 years old. So that definitely means how a pet can be a major part of the family at that point. So I just wanted to tie that into this blog, that the dog's name was Chance, and we're sorry to hear about the dog. Something I wanted to comment on for probably a couple of weeks now, and I just haven't had the time to upload a video. I'm furious about this administration and the debt. One of the things that they were going to remedy or at least make better was the debt. That was one of the first things they were going to get involved in. Not only have they escalated it, but they're looking to increase the amount of tolerable money that can go into the debt. In other words, they're saying that they're going to raise the limit on a credit card. It's just like if you have a credit card that has a limit of $10,000 and you're up to $8,500 and you know that you're going to spend that remaining $1,500. You don't say, well, geez, we're going to need $1,500, so we're going to have to pay this debt down a little bit so that we're not so close to the ceiling. They're not doing that. They're saying, well, we're going to need to raise the limit. So now we need a $20,000 credit card. And the president himself has even said that if they cannot raise this limit, Social Security would be withheld. They would use the Social Security monies to pay down the debt, or to use in lieu of the money they would borrow against the debt, and that they would hold Social Security back. Well, that's something that definitely hits home a little bit. My father passed away in January, 6 months ago. That means that my mother is on Social Security, excuse me, and a fixed income. Now, my dad did leave her in good shape, financially at least, and it's not that my mother technically can't survive if the Social Security checks don't come in, but you really shouldn't. That is something that, well, when you've paid into for many decades, as my dad did, that's an allotment now to my mother. To my father until January, and to my mother now, for the rest of her life. Pay into it, that's what it's for, okay? So even if there is technically other money that my mother could use if Social Security was withheld, this is something that, I don't want to use the word rely, because that's probably not true. It's not that my mother would technically rely on the Social Security, but it's the day-to-day expenses. That's what it's for. And the president and his staff are saying that if the debt limit isn't raised, in other words, their credit card balance isn't, or credit card limit isn't raised, they could withhold Social Security. That's how they're going to threaten the country into doing it their way. I think that's a horrendous. In street language, it's a dick move, and it should not be. It should not be even considered. And I hope that I hope they don't get to do that. That's all I can say.